The Pantry at Patch, a Stuttgart resiliency story. This is a consequence story resulting from the funding shutdown and provides a true example of resiliency at its best, as demonstrated by the Stuttgart military community and those individuals present, filled with compassion and demonstrating empathy, determination, and heart. With that said, I encourage everyone to ignore divisive messaging in the news and stick together, support one another, and stay on the positive track. Before we start, I want to take a moment to reintroduce you to our new community messaging platform called the OPSEC Minute Extended. On Mondays, after this funding shutdown concludes, we will be curtailed from forwarding emailing messages, but this shutdown will not impact our efforts on YouTube. There, we will continue using that space to post associated storyboard videos on our YouTube at Secure Narrative channel and share both a little OPSEC, or Operation Security Wisdom, along with an occasional Marvel team-up bridge that ties into other regulatory security disciplines and policies that our leadership and the Department of Army embrace. We realize reading a page of dialogue is not everyone's cup of tea. As an alternative, please feel free to subscribe and check out the video of this and other OPSEC Minute extended stories on our YouTube Secure Narratives channel. Simply click the link and let it play in the background as you tackle your morning routine and backlog of email. https://www.youtube.com/ATE Productions Secure Narrative. All right, that quick moment is up. Enjoy today's Secure Narrative. Prologue: October's Chill. The air over Stuttgart carried that autumn sharpness that made breath visible and patience short. The leaves along Patch Barracks had turned gold and red, swirling in small rebellions across the motor pool. But beneath the season's beauty, tension hummed, the kind born from uncertainty. For the fourth week, paychecks hadn't come. Civilian employees were furloughed, soldiers' families were rationing savings, and the usual laughter outside the commissary had gone quiet. On a gray Wednesday morning, Maren, a 34-year-old Army spouse with a stubborn streak and a background in logistics, stood in her kitchen staring at a near-empty pantry. Her husband, Sergeant First Class Maren, worked for the garrison's protection office, calm under pressure, the type to fix anything but admit little. Jessie tapped her fingers against a box of pasta. She wasn't out of food yet, but she knew families who were. The government shutdown was dragging on, and pride had kept many from asking for help. "Someone has to do something," she muttered. Aaron looked up from tightening the sole of his boot with a frown. "You're someone," he said simply. Jessie blinked, then smirked. "Careful, that sounded suspiciously like encouragement." Act 1. The Spark in the Commissary Line. The next morning, Jessie found herself in the commissary. Not shopping, just watching. She saw a young mother counting coins, quietly putting back a box of cereal. A retiree at the next register tried to act like he hadn't noticed. That was the moment Jessie's idea crystallized. Not a fundraiser, not a charity, a pantry. A simple, no-questions-asked table where people could take or leave what they could. She drafted a quick email to the garrison's religious support office, addressed to Chaplain Colonel David Curlin, explaining her plan. A pop-up food exchange for families feeling the pinch. No names, no judgment, just neighbors helping neighbors. An hour later, she got a reply. "Meet me at the Panzer Chapel at 1500. Bring the idea. I'll bring the coffee." D.C. When she arrived, Chaplain Curlin's office smelled of old wood and stronger coffee. He listened, nodding thoughtfully. "You're not wrong, Jessie. People are struggling, even if they don't say it. But if we do this, we do it right, with dignity, security, and maybe a little OPSEC flair. OPSEC flair? Jesse asked, half laughing. Curlin grinned. Oh, you'll see. I know a guy. Act 2. The Allies Assemble. That guy turned out to be Mr. James J.B. Brooks, the garrison's OPSEC officer. Lean, sharp-eyed, perpetually holding a half-drunk cup of coffee like it was evidence. So you want to run a food drop without leaking personal data or embarrassing anyone, J.B. said, pacing. You're basically talking about an OPSEC operation with snacks. I love it. Mr. Alonzo Edwards, the command security manager, joined the planning session, flipping through his notepad. We'll need clear protocols. Anonymous sign-in if anyone insists on accountability, but we'll safeguard identities. This stays about community, not charity. Colonel Edward Sanford, the garrison commander, approved it faster than expected. It's the kind of morale operation we need. Call it the Pantry at Patch. Mr. Gwinner, make sure they've got space and tables. Robert Gwinner, the deputy garrison commander, sighed theatrically. And maybe a heater? Because if this thing gets big, no one's standing outside freezing over canned beans. They all laughed, the first shared laugh in weeks of shutdown strain. Within days, the Stuttgart Red Cross team joined in, offering volunteers and transport vans. Soldiers' kids began decorating cardboard boxes with hand-drawn hearts and the phrase, "Take what you need, give what you can." Jessie stood back during setup, watching it all unfold. "I just wanted to help," she whispered. "Yeah," JB said, lugging a box of rice past her. "Funny thing about help. It multiplies." Act 3. The First Saturday. The first weekend of the Pantry at Patch was gray and damp, but the line outside the chapel was warm with quiet conversation. Some came to give, others to take, and most to just be part of something that felt human again. Jessie spotted familiar faces, commissary clerks, teachers, even a young MP couple who'd been too proud to ask for assistance. The kids from Patch Elementary handed out small bags of produce, beaming like it was Christmas. Chaplain Curlin greeted everyone with a handshake and a joke. "Blessed are the givers, and those who brought peanut butter." Aaron worked security discreetly, ensuring no one felt watched. When Jessie passed him a steaming cup of cocoa, he smiled. "You realize this is bigger than us now, right?" She nodded. "That's the point." Act 4. Ripples Across the Garrison. Word spread. Other installations in Germany called to ask how Stuttgart had pulled it off. IMCOM Europe took notice, requesting a write-up for the command's Community Resilience Report. Colonel Sanford read the final after-action brief in the chapel that Friday. "This," he said, tapping the paper, "is what resilience looks like. We've got protocols, planning, and purpose. And all it took was one spouse with an empty pantry and a full heart." He looked up, meeting Jessie's eyes. "You didn't just feed people. You reminded us how to look after each other. That's force protection in its truest form." J.B. Brooks, never one for sentiment, raised his coffee. "And from an OPSEC standpoint, no leaks, no overshares, and zero drama on Facebook. I call that mission success." Laughter rippled through the room. Even Alonzo cracked a smile. "Let's make sure we write this one down. People should remember how it feels when community outperforms crisis." Epilogue. November's Light. A month later, as funding finally resumed and paychecks returned, the tables at the Pantry at Patch were still full. Not because people were desperate anymore, but because they'd found something worth keeping. The pantry evolved into a community exchange. Food, clothes, time, and small kindnesses traded like currency. The Red Cross set up a volunteer hub beside it, and Chaplain Curlin's office became the unofficial headquarters for hope. On a quiet evening, Jessie stood with Aaron outside the chapel, the last of the autumn leaves skimming across the pavement. "You think people will keep coming?" she asked. Aaron shrugged, pulling her close. Maybe not for food, but maybe for each other. Inside, JB's voice carried faintly. "All right, team, OPSEC reminder, no selfies with the soup line." Laughter burst out from somewhere near the coffee table. And for the first time in weeks, the garrison didn't feel like a workplace under strain. It felt like home, imperfect, human, and profoundly connected. Thank you for sticking around as we continue testing the boundaries of an extended storyboard. Think of it as security training with a plot twist, and a fresh way to both educate our team and connect with our military community. Subscribe to our Secure Narratives YouTube channel. Share and hit us with a like, and watch for new updates which will be uploaded with or without a government funding shutdown in effect. Also, if you have other suggestions or ideas, or are interested in a personalized name drop, or your work center's inclusion to our tales, don't hold back. Send a quick note or use the interactive customer evaluation system to share your thoughts. We're all ears and ready to make things even better, so until next Mondays. OPSEC Minute. Extended posting via email or on our Stuttgart Security Division YouTube channel. Keep those comments coming and stay engaged.